Right, it's been a while since I've done an update, so I might as well do one because, well, a couple of things. Let's start with the smaller stuff. I've added a couple of Smith's gauges, oil temp and oil pressure. These are off a Range Rover Classic, and I've actually bought the correct sender units for both. So I bought the correct 140 degree sender for the temp and the 60 psi, which is 4 bar for the pressure gauge, and they're working perfectly. In fact, it's actually quite interesting how, I mean, it is winter and so on, but these engines, the diesels, I suppose the petrol's the same perhaps, but certainly the diesels, they run cool. So I've had this thing going up to about 60 degrees Celsius, but we'll see what happens in summer. Dash is looking pretty good. I actually added a little bit of leather to hide away the plastic that I had underneath there, but eventually I'll do something more permanent with that. Right, now the big ticket item. It's been, well, basically since running it, it's been a little bit, well, underpowered is not the right term, because these 2.25 diesels aren't exactly a power horse to start with. But one of the symptoms I've had is that when driving, when I get past full throttle, it almost like it was choking on itself. And so I decided to chase fuel starvation issues. Actually, while I'm here, you can see the sender units down there. I've got 3, obviously one for the idiot light, which is that red hat one. That's for the oil pressure light on startup. Then the big dome one is the pressure sender, and the one on the bottom is the temperature sender. Anyway, back to this. So I basically I knew it wasn't right. I mean, one thing's having a lazy engine or a not powerful engine, but this was definitely choking past half throttle. So anyway, what I've done is I started from the tank and worked forward, and I noticed that the little gauze mesh on the tube, on the pickup tube, was pretty much partially blocking the entrance hole. So I took the entire mesh off, and I noticed a little bit more of a pickup, but again, low down pickup. This thing's got a lot of low down torque. But then after that, I tested the line. So I tested the line from the tank to the lift pump, and yes, I did replace the lift pump. That was a job that I just did as well. You can see a nice little shiny lift pump down there. And luckily I did, because the other one started to leak, and it was well past its due. So I did that. I changed that over. Again, not much difference. Then I made sure the other lines to the fuel filter, I've changed the fuel filter, was clear. I also advanced the pump just ever so slightly. I'm talking about probably 0.5 mil advanced, and I'll show you the running and how crisp she sounds. But even after that, the problem wasn't resolved. So I was thinking maybe it had something to do with the housing up here, because that's the highest point. And I thought to myself that perhaps as the fuel would come up here, obviously there's this vent tube here, which is a spill rail, which goes back towards the back of the injector, which then leads back to the tank. And I thought, well, that couldn't be a problem, because as the fuel rises and any extra, etc., that'll be spilled out. However, let me show you something. Right, here's a spare setup. Oh, this is the old lift pump that I replaced. And check the play here. Yep, definitely grotty. So well worth changing that. But anyway, this is the spare filter housing and so on. When I took this banjo boat off, check this out. There is actually no hole. that goes through that. You can see it's meant for it, but it actually stops there, which means that if we were to put that back, where do I leave it? Here's the line. If we were to put this back there and clamp it on, that basically has no way for the fuel to travel from inside the filter housing through that hole and back down the spill line. So basically it's like me plugging that hole all together. Now I thought to myself, now that doesn't look right. So because I've got two, I decided to drill a hole right through on the one that I've got on there on the vehicle now. And yeah, that basically solved the problem. Can you believe it? I think there must have been still air trapped, and maybe perhaps by undoing this nut up here, you can let it purge until the fuel comes out. But irrespective of that, how does the fuel supposed to come back down this rail here? There's no way it could have done that. So just as an experiment, I did drill that, and now it's got the fuel flow that I've been talking about, the fact that it doesn't feel like it's choking on itself anymore. And I don't know why. All I can think about was that I did have air, some kind of an airlock in here. Again, not sure why. I'm trying to think about what this could mean, aside from the fact that there could be more flow, if you will, inside the filter chamber, which allows more fuel to go to the pump. That's the only thing I can think of, and that probably explains that sensation of a choking or fuel starvation. Anyway, quick update. So I'm really, really happy with that. I did have just taken it for a test drive, and I do have a little bit more pote, which is to be expected. Like I said, I can feel that. I can feel the surge now. Maybe I've gained 1 horsepower. I don't know. But look, at least that problem is solved, and I'm much happier with that. So that is an update for you guys. Any questions, let me know. The next step I have is to rebuild this pump. I'm going to have that rebuilt, so I've got got it as a spare, and of course I've got the kit for it, which is from Bundy Bear's Tractor Parts, Queensland guy. He's the one that's got the videos on how to rebuild these that are about an hour long, one to disassemble and one to assemble. And those videos themselves by Lance has just given me a tremendous amount of confidence to tackle it. So that'll be the next project. Anyway, as always, thanks for watching, and until next time, we'll keep on motoring.